what are you doing? Do you have a painted mini ready to go?
Yeah. Just a couple more things finishing up, and we're good to go.
You don't, do you?
Um, no, I totally have a mini ready to go, and I just need a couple more minutes to finish up some things, and I'll have it ready for you.
Well, we have like an hour before we need the footage so we can get the video edited together. So, can you get it to us in an hour? So, I don't know if you know this or not, but a new Black Panther movie is out, and I'm heavily addicted to the phone game Marvel Snap. Hashtag not an advertisement. However, hit me up, you know what I mean? Anyways, I wanted to kind of paint something Marvel related. I have a bunch of Marvel Crisis Protocol minis that have been sitting on my unpainted miniatures shelf as opposed to my painted miniatures shelf. And so I thought, why not paint Black Panther? He's got the new movie, he's got a new card in the game. I was like, why not? And I didn't really want to spend a lot of time on this just because I've been working on Space Dwarves, and so this was just kind of to break up all the monotony of painting a bunch of Space Dwarves, the glory that comes with painting Warhammer 40k mini. So today I'm going to paint Black Panther in under an hour. And we're painting black, which is notoriously a little difficult to do. Some people seem to struggle with the concept of painting black. So we're going to explore how to paint black a little easier today as well. So get your running shoes on, get your black paints out. We are speed painting some black paint today. So why do we think painting black is difficult or hard? Well, commonly we tend to use black as a shade or a paint to darken our other colors for the purpose of shades, or to just darken recesses and the likes. So when it comes to painting an entire miniature in black, our brains kind of break a little bit. It's kind of the same as when we paint white, like I did in my painting Star Wars Clone Wars Troopers videos. So we commonly don't use these videos as a primary color. We tend to use them in a more of a subtle, more of an accessory type of way. So when it comes to painting an entire mini, that color tends to kind of trick our mind and make us think a little bit more than we're used to. So I think commonly we think of black as devoid of color, but really black is full of a lot of colors, or a lot of different colors commonly. If you look out in everyday life, you'll notice in black clothing that it tends to have a hue of blue or gray commonly, and that's kind of where we're going to head in this miniature. I'm utilizing the Black Panther suit from the first movie, when at the end where he's got like the purple shimmer going on, and so I'm going to utilize purple as kind of the lightning and the highlighter for my black suit. So let's talk about painting fast or speed painting and what that really means, and maybe what are some things you should consider when kind of wanting to do something like this. And the first thing I would recommend is having a plan. So what paints are you going to use? How are you going to use them? What are you using for your midtones, your shadows, your highlights? Where are they going to go on the miniature? Do you have an overall conceptualization of what you want the mini to look like? Maybe have some reference photos of the different types of effects you're wanting to accomplish, or maybe a reference photo of a finished miniature, or maybe a piece of concept art or something like that. Something that's just going to help guide all of your decisions for you so that you're not having to think a lot about them when painting the miniature. The time for experimentation and testing out new things and just kind of taking a lot of time to mess around with different blends and all that type of stuff should probably be left for maybe some longer term, more fun projects. If the goal of what you're trying to do is speed, we want to have everything laid out for us so that all we have to do is just execute the plan and not make a plan as we go. So what was my plan for this Black Panther miniature? Well, if you've seen the first one, at the end he kind of has this like purple shimmering glow effect over all of his armor, and I knew that that's kind of the effect I wanted to utilize for my finished Black Panther miniature. So I was really going to utilize a black and purple hue on this miniature. So for my base coat, I was just going to mix in a little bit of purple with my German gray. I love German gray if you watch my other videos. And so this kind of gave that subtle purple hue over the entire base coat and not just such a solid black tone. And remember what I said, black usually in everyday life and in clothing is not just entirely pure black and devoid of color. It commonly has a slightly colored tone to it. Usually it's blue or gray, but in this instance I'm going to use purple because it works for the look I'm going for and makes sense for the character. So for my highlighting effect, I'm just going to add more royal purple to my German gray on my initial layers, and then I'm going to start to sneak in a little bit of Fenrisian gray just to lighten up the tone a little bit. Not a lot at first, just a little bit. You know, it's just kind of, we're going for some quick, easy highlights here. So I just went for kind of small swiping motions just because it's kind of on fabric stretched over muscle, and so having these kind of streaks makes a little bit of sense for kind of the stretching and pulling the suit. At least that's what I'm telling myself. And it's just a quick and easy method to layer up highlights without having to super smoothly blend them together. If you really want to get crazy with it, you can glaze over this effect to kind of help smooth those blends, but in this mini I'm going for speed, and I didn't really think that was necessary for this miniature. I'm overall pretty happy with the kind of layers of highlights, and I think the muscles on his arms and his legs have the contrast that I'm looking for within the time frame I wanted. So another important facet of speed painting or painting quickly is kind of understanding what your money angle is. And so usually this is what the face of the miniature is. It's where you're going to focus the most time and effort on because it's what people are going to be looking at the most. It's what's going to stand out the most to individuals. We always have a tendency to look at the faces on miniature. So 9 times out of 10, your money angle is going to be the angle with the face showing on it. And really all this means is that we're just going to focus all of our time and effort on that angle. So I did almost all of my highlight work only on the face of the miniature, the right arm he has outstretched kind of towards that angle, and then his left knee that also kind of juts out in an angle. So I'm just focusing all of my effort on those facets that stand out on my money angle. And this just helps save time, not painting things that people aren't probably going to be looking at, that you're probably not going to be looking at. And when we're painting a miniature for the tabletop, people are just going to pick it up for a moment, they're going to look at it, and they're going to put it back down so you can play your game. So understanding your money angle and putting all that time and effort into the part that actually matters can help save a lot of time and help the miniature look really cool because you're putting effort into the part people care about. It's not like putting a mediocre job across the whole miniature, but putting a really, really good job on just a couple aspects of the miniature that matter more than others. So when painting miniatures quickly, establish what your money angle is so that you put all that time and that little bit of time and effort you have into those parts. So as important as having a plan is when speed painting miniatures, I think it's also important to understand when maybe aspects of your plan are not necessary now that you're actually putting paint on the miniature. I started out painting all these purple lines across the entire body and all these little grooves and crevices he had, and I quickly realized that this was overall not necessary to the miniature and how it looked. I probably could have saved myself 15-20 miniatures by ignoring this step, and overall would not have affected the quality of the miniature. I could have titled this video "I Paint Black Panther in Under 30 Minutes" and really just riled up that clickbaitiness, but unfortunately I didn't do that. So we're stuck with under an hour. But I think it's important to be adaptive when painting miniatures, especially speed painting. If you realize that you're working on something that just doesn't matter, then you can move on from it. So let me know what techniques you utilize to paint quickly. Is there something in this video you liked that I did? Is there something I missed that you utilize a lot that you think I should add to kind of my repertoire, and you think that other people watching might find useful? You know, add it down below in the comments. I'm sure it could be really helpful to both me and all of the other viewers. So for the last few videos in this channel, I've been more focused on kind of some longer term projects, things that require a little more effort, a lot more layer, a lot more time in general. And for my Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures, I've been really dragging my feet on getting them done. So I really wanted to find something that I could do quickly and to just get minis on the tabletop that are painted in an effective way that I thought looked cool and will serve kind of the narrative on the tabletop. So I think it's important to understand your goals with the miniatures you're painting. Do you want them to look amazing? Are you just trying to play a game and just have some painted minis for a game? Then I think it's important to kind of set your expectations and set your goals so you're not maybe putting more effort into something that you don't want to put a lot of effort into and potentially burn yourself out on. If you enjoyed this video, I really appreciate it. If you made it this far, I appreciate it even more. And it'd really be helpful if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, helps it grow. I've been super overwhelmed with all of the views and subscribers I've been getting, and just the overall response to the channel has been really positive and good. So I'm extremely thankful for that, and I really appreciate all the love you guys give, and keep on doing it. It just helps the channel grow, helps get more eyes on it, just helps encourage me to keep going and help me kind of learn and help you guys learn and everything. So overall, I'm just super appreciated to all of you guys for all the support on this channel. So thank you so much. And if you're interested in more of my content, if just every other week isn't enough of me for you, I also stream on Twitch every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central. I'm usually painting minis for these videos in them. Kind of helps me stay on track, stay on schedule, and it's just a fun way to interact with you. You can ask me questions about the methods I'm using or what I'm doing in the videos live. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. The link is in the description. I really appreciate it. I also occasionally just play some games on there. I'll probably play some Marvel Snap on there because, like I said, I am fully addicted, and who knows, in next week I could be totally over the game. So who knows. But if you like kind of live content, if you like Twitch streams, come check it out. I'm usually painting minis. It's a fun little atmosphere. We got a fun little crowd there, so come check it out. Link is in the description. And of course, if you're interested in 3D printed miniatures for fantasy and D&D settings, I have an Etsy shop. The link is in the description. I've got minis from several different designers that I really enjoy their minis from. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. Link is in the description. And of course, as always, elevate your game night. So for this Black Panther miniature, I focused primarily on his face, top of his head. He's got kind of an outstretched arm. God damn.